Good evening, everybody. Now, I'm just a simple man, and I have the strength to prove it. And my name is Noah Foster, and welcome once again to another episode of 205 Life Matters, episode number 29, where this week we will discuss the unsanctioned match between Mike Kanellis and Drake Maverick, and also the events that have occurred this week on 205 Live, as well as some stances, our next list pick, and of course, the idea of what we think to come at Summerslam. Before all that, allow me to introduce you, of course, to my partner in crime here on 205 Live Matters. He's a family man, he's the holiday, he's Chris Mace, and he knows cruiserweights. How you doing, good sir?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm just excited to talk about 205 Live and the other stuff coming up here in the near future. So I'm excited about all that and ready to talk some wrestling now.
Absolutely. And folks, this might be a little bit of a shorter episode because there's a lot of stuff going on this weekend, which we'll get into at the end. But with that, enjoy and feel free to discuss, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, share it with others. With that, let's go ahead and get started. So this was episode number 145, emanating from Memphis, Tennessee. What a musical city. And we start off with an incredible video package that didn't necessarily go chronological. It was like Inception with memory in memory, as we looked at 2 weeks ago when this match was set up, and then 5 months ago where this all really began, where Mike Kanellis posed the idea of how Drake Maverick considers him not worthy. And again, he brings up your win and loss record on 205 Live is not worthy of being in the Cruiserweight tournament. 2 months later, he says, okay, so what has Jack Gallagher done to deserve this? You say I'm not worthy? What have you done? Then he brings up the idea of how all you've done, Mike, is complain and complain. What sort of GM would I be if I just gave you what you want because all you do is complain about it? And then we go to Raw, actually, where they bring up the idea of how Maria just feels like he has been an utter disappointment. But we go back to 205 Live last month, where Mike Kanellis does not blame, his wife for saying that is true. He blames Drake Maverick for everything that's happened to him, including this rift between him and his wife. To the point he went on the show, he trashed it by throwing a trash can around in a tantrum. And then we got this match made when he had a little bit of a match against Jobber and basically tirade, but also expressed what he is about. He said he could have gone anywhere. He didn't. He re-signed with WWE, and then he signed for 2 reasons. Prove he's the best to his wife by becoming Cruiserweight Champion and kicking Drake Maverick's ass. And all it took was calling out Drake Maverick's manhood and his wife for Drake to finally snap and bring Rockstar Spud back. And then we get the promo where you're not going to be finding the GM. We're not even going to be in a wrestling match because our match is unsanctioned. Because sometimes a man's got to do what a man's got to do. I mean, he called out his wife, all right? If you're a man, you're going to freaking stand up for your woman. And Drake Maverick has officially proclaimed that. And here we are tonight. Incredible video package, well-told story, and this actually really excited me for this match. I know I've been a bit biased lately towards Drake Maverick with his other pursuits, but obviously he's taking this very seriously, and he does take 205 Live seriously. Hence the reason why we haven't had any shenanigans like we see on the other 2 shows involved on 205 Live. Yet they really help drive the story. Chris, what was your thoughts on this overall video package and everything that's been up to this point, bringing us to this match?
Well, I mean, for anybody who just now started watching, it's a good thing because, in fact, you get the history lesson, what exactly is going on. I like how they've done the slow burn with everything. This has been a story that's been going on for months since he's come to 205 Live, just slowly the aggravation, then his wife being pregnant, then the aggravation with that, how she's been upset with him, and now he's being a heel. Like I said, a good heel is not going to take the blame. He's not going to say, oh, it's my fault. He's going to blame somebody else. So this is perfect heel tactic 101. He's going to blame somebody else. He's blaming Drake Maverick for all this stuff. And so we're going to talk about here at this main event, how it all plays out here shortly.
Yeah, and speaking of which, we just go right into the show with our opening match. Of course, accepted last week, I believe. It was Akira Tozawa and the Brian Kendrick versus the Singh brothers. Not really much to this match. I mean, I had my typical spot, pick out jab with a smile afterwards. They talk about the Bosca. I almost call it the Bollywood Award, the Boscar. Apparently, Vic Joseph and Eddie English are best commentary, much to Nigel McGuinness's. Nice to have Nigel McGuinness back, the old salty man, against Joseph and Aiden English. Like, it's not the 24/7 title. It's not the Brian Kendrick's, obligation to do that. He doesn't have the right to. And ironically, that award became the difference maker in this match because the miscommunication led to sliced bread, top rope, send up bomb combination. The faces went over. The Singh brothers lose again. You have to imagine this is the end of this short-term feud. Where do all four of these men go from here? Only time will tell. Chris, any takeaways from this match, and what do you see next for anybody here?
I thought it was a pretty good match for as quick as it was. It was a pretty good match. I was entertained with it. Like I said, Singh Brothers been very impressive since being on 205 Live. I'm glad they're actually getting an opportunity to do something relevant besides being with gender. Mm-hmm. And like I said, Akira Tozawa and the Brian Kendrick, like I said, I was expecting some kind of heel turn here soon. But like I said, I guess not. So I guess that's not going to be playing out yet. So now, where do all four of these men go? I'm not really sure at this time. We're only going to have to wait storyline. They have new opportunities. They have the gentleman still. They have Chad Gable, who we've not seen since he got the win over the gentleman, so we haven't seen him back in action as of yet. So maybe there's a feud down the road with Chad Gable. We don't know yet. We'll have to see. But I did like how that finish played out, though, when him hitting this sliced bread and then Akira Tozawa hitting his finish, which he's got to come up with another finish. He's going to end up hurting himself soon with that finish.
He's been using it forever. Somehow the man's back still isn't crippled, okay? So, then again, I guess most of the time he actually hits it, which helps. I can only imagine how many times if he actually hit the mat, how bad his back would be. But I completely agree. Again, this is, in my opinion, the most dangerous freaking finisher in WWE.
That's where we agreed on.
Yeah. And I mean, the Singh brothers, they controlled most of the match. So, again, demonstrating true tag team wrestling dynamics. I mean, it was a suicide dive denied that gave the Singh brothers like 80% of this match. It wasn't until a hot tag and a miscommunication with a heel tactic that gave the faces the win. And again, I thought there would be a heel turn, calling back to maybe somehow roles reverse. Akira turns heel on the Brian Kendrick. Thus, we get the opposite of what I saw live in 2017, which we'll talk more about that later. Believe me. But yeah, fun little match. I'm curious to see what's next for all four men. Following this, we go into Humberto Carrillo's video package part 3, where we already seen the then, we talk about the now we talk about the future. He basically says how 205 Live debut was one of the greatest things he's ever done, and he loves being on this brand, he loves how dynamic it is, but he wants to become Cruiserweight champion. He wants to face Gulak. He also, though, here's the key thing, he wants to be the first one in his family to win a WWE championship. Can he accomplish that feat? I think so, but I don't think he's ready yet or going to be put yet in a Cruiserweight title match this soon after these video packages. He's got to be destined for one, I would imagine, at some point in the fall, but I don't see it happening like anytime soon, particularly. Chris, what are your thoughts on Humberto Carrillo and this whole 3-part video package?
I like it. I like the fact that it was, like I said, they've been slow burning him for a while now. Apologize for the dog if you hear the dog barking. Yeah. But like I said, I love the video package. Like I said, they've done a great job slow burning him so far. I don't think it's time for him to win that title yet. I think it's something they need to keep doing, continue to build up more credible wins, continue to feud. I would love to see it sometime, maybe at WrestleMania time, where he wins the title and wins the big one at WrestleMania. That's what I predict for him. But trying to put it on him now, if you put him in a match with like Drew Gulak right now, for example, it's going to be too soon.
I completely agree. He needs a big, massive win, and we might be getting segue in his next big match or feud. Because following this, we go backstage to the Lucha House Party, warming up Lince Dorado for his singles match, and then we get Sheriff Schreiber coming in talking about how is the influence of Lucha Libre on 205 Live? How is the outlook of that? How do you guys, enjoy that? Do you like that? And basically they said everyone here on the 205 Live brand is Lucha. However, the leader, basically, of Lucha House Party, he basically already has endorsed the future. He says Humberto Carrillo is one of the best, which apparently triggers Lince Dorado. He says, Humberto, okay, he's Lucha, but here's the thing. He just talks about it. We are it. And Kalisa's like, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. And then he's like, hey, come on, man. We're seasoned. We've been here since episode 1. Let's go have some fun. I got a match. And then he goes out to the ring by himself. Now, this was very curious to me because when I considered that hot Lucha Libre tag opener from freaking last week, Lince Dorado was not involved in the match at all. He was from the outside, and his team lost. So I wonder if that has elevated this idea that Lince Dorado feels he is the better of Lucha House Party. That result wouldn't have repeated itself because, again, he is more old school. He's one of those that looks at the old school style more than the new school style. And then, of course, you heard Aiden and Nigel putting this over. So before we talk more about Lince Dorado, Chris, what was your thoughts on Lince Dorado versus Arya Daivari?
It was very good. I was very impressed. I think this, what the Lucha House Party did last week carried over this week with Dorado. I think he had something to prove, and I think it carried over from the success and how great they did last week. By far, like I said, Dorado pulled off an excellent match with Daivari, and like I said, Daivari is one of the best heels they have on 205 Live to me right now, except for Drew Gulak. Like I said, he's right up there, but Daivari is easily right up there with Drew Gulak as being a heel right now, being very dominant.
Yeah, absolutely. And this match was a very back and forth affair. Lucha Libre showing how strong, but Arya Daivari showing how physical he is. I mean, the commentary was putting over the idea of, oh, okay, Arya Daivari, he's been 3 weeks in Florida recuperating from that brutal, anything goes match with Only Lorcan from 3 weeks ago. And then they brought up the idea of Lince Dorado. He might have the biggest ego at Lucha House Party, but he also might have the biggest potential. He might be, as you said, envious of the loss last week because he felt he was not involved. This was really an idea of Lince Dorado's outlook on old versus new Lucha. Basically, this match was everything you expected. Golden Rebound out the gate, countered, and then so many springboards and splashes. There was a wicked palm chop into a Hurricanrana dropkick combination. But then Arya Daivari, heel Cedric, pushed him up the top rope. He gained the advantage for most of the match following that, including, but not limited to, beautiful DDT, a freaking, fist into Lince's, that's right. The main point of this match. We're in Memphis, Tennessee. Whose home is that? The King, Jerry the King Lawler. What does Arya Daivari do? Not only to elicit crowd heat, but further himself as a heel, he pretends to pull a strap down, he wasn't wearing a shirt by the way, and literally tries to drop the fist of Jerry the King Lawler only to eat a boot to the jaw. That's what happens when you mock the king in his own city. Respect the legend. Despite the fact he, not really the same, but anyway. Springboard crossbody after that. Super kick to the midsection. Not the face, ironically. The midsection. And Arya Daivari gained control after that. He basically went for his submission move, which they call the Billion Real Dream. I think that name's stupid. Only for a counter roll through and then... What the hell? Did Arya Daivari just pull out a rock bottom? You heard not doing this at electrifying, right? That was the closest thing I saw to a rock bottom. Better than I think Kevin Owens' Stone Cold Stunner. I want to get The Rock's opinion on that freaking rock bottom. That was brilliant, but not enough. Because following this, we get a unique rope through kick combination, and then I don't even know what you call this. He freaking spun around him, caught his legs, rolled over the guy, and pinned him 1, 2, 3. A very competitive back-and-forth match with Lince Dorado picking up the win. Maybe proving to his point, and maybe sending a message to Humberto Carrillo. Now, my only takeaways are this. One, what does Humberto Carrillo think? Are we going to get Humberto Carrillo's thoughts next week? Are they building towards Humberto Carrillo versus Lince Dorado? Because Lince put that thought over. We haven't seen a Lince Dorado versus Humberto Carrillo match, but that would be Lucha Lit. Okay, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever said. Sorry, folks. But, yeah, Arya Daivari, I think, still looked very strong in this match. But there was the point, and I went back through on the replay and slowed it down. There might have been a point his right shoulder was just slightly up from the mat. But again, referee's decision's final. He saw the shoulders from the left-hand point, so it is what it is. So who has a case here? Are we going to get Arya Daivari versus Lince Dorado again? Are we going to get Arya Daivari versus Humberto Carrillo? Are we going to get Humberto Carrillo versus Lince Dorado? Are we going to get all three? Where does the story go from here? Again, where do these men go? Very dynamic match, and it left me thinking. Any further thoughts on Humberto Carrillo's outlook you think this might be, Chris?
He could end up having some kind of friendly feud with the Lucha House Party that would give him something to do. He could have single matches with all three of them. I think that'd be a very impressive way that could showcase more. And like I said, since the Lucha style of wrestling is a very impressive, very great art form. And I think it'd be helpful to him. That could help him build up some wins. Especially with Dorado. The way Dorado performed, if I see that Dorado versus Humberto, I said that's going to be a damn good match if I see that match with him.
The Battle of Cats here. The golden, the golden cat versus the freaking Persian lion. That was a very unique line. Yeah, very dynamic match, and honestly, I think I want to see right now next Roberto Frio versus Lince Dorado with Kalisto at ringside because I feel like Kalisto here is going to be the boundary point between Lince Dorado's ego getting the best of him, and this might be our first signs of cracks in the Lucha House Party where they finally might split. Only time will tell, but I'm just saying, Lucha House Party, they need something different to them. So, tag team action is still incredible by them on 205 Live. But I'm just saying, maybe it's time to shake things up finally within the Lucha House Party.
Yep.
Alright. So, moving on from there, we get Mike prepping. Why the fuck is Maria 24/7 champion?
Who knows?
So, let me get this straight. This title, it's all about comedy, right? All about opportunity and anything can happen. So we got a pregnant champion. A woman, and only a woman, pregnant champion. So, who's up in a pregnant woman? Drake Maverick or R-Truth in drag? Oh, God. I could actually see Vince McMahon doing that.
Yeah, we could too.
Moving on. Oh, God. Anyway.
And the one thing I will say about that, we'll credit Synergy for bringing it up. That was the same angle they did from TNA when Maria had Allie lay down so she could become the Knockouts Women Champion. She did the same thing, made Mike Kanellis slay.
Idea how much that fucking pissed me off. Control C, Control V, aha. So now you're relying on Impact when it was at its lowest point to try and drive your ratings on Monday Night Raw? The fuck? Alright, anyway, moving on from there, we go into Drew Gulak talking about where's his opponent. No one is willing, it seems, on this brand to step up to him. But whoever does, regardless, only two things will be waiting for them. Pain and punishment. I'll be watching tonight's main event real closely. Good luck, Mike. So about that. Which, of course, segue, led us into our main event. Because I don't think there's really much else you can say about Drew Gulak's promo. It was like literally 2 sentences. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But the focus on this show was definitely the culmination of this story. Over 430,000 views on YouTube, by the way, just for the clip of this match alone. So you can tell how many people were really invested in this.
Yep.
So, Chris, take me through your entire outlook of this match, the outcome, and basically your overall review of these two. What were your thoughts on Drake Maverick versus Mike Kanellis unsanctioned match?
I think they actually did a very good job, and I know some people might disagree. I've had a couple people message me saying they didn't care for it. They thought it should have been more 50-50 match. But you have to understand storyline-wise. When was the last time? We've never seen Drake Maverick wrestle. Not in WWE, not in 205 Live. I said we haven't seen him wrestle since he was on. No. But we haven't seen him really honestly have any wrestling matches consistently since he was in TNA.
That's true.
So you have to give him credit for what he was able to do. So people who are going, oh, it wasn't that good of a match, blah blah blah. You got to understand it from a storyline base setting. Okay, Mike Kanellis feels like he was wrong, so he beat the shit out of him from the moment he didn't even have an entrance. As Drake Maverick came out there to 205 Live theme, and he immediately went and attacked him from behind and started beating the shit out of him. Beating him like he was a little kid who had just stole his cookie or some shit. That is exactly what he did. He beat the dog crap of him all over the place, everywhere. He took it to a whole new level of punishment. But Drake Maverick, he kept fighting, getting up. And there was a few times in this match now that Kanellis could have won this match, and this is where his downfall was going to be because his arrogance got to him. He wanted to pursue more punishment, and 9 times out of 10, when they don't get that easy pin, when they got the man beat, 9 out of 10, what happens? They end up getting upset, and they lose. That's exactly what happened because Drake Maverick kept starting to get little comebacks. Mike Kanellis was surprised at this. And you kept seeing Maria in the back just watching. Why do we have that? Why is she wearing that 24/7 on 205 Live? We need to burn that belt. It's beyond me. But the point is, she kept watching. You could see how she looked like she was pleased at first and everything like that. She seemed all happy, and the match kept going. And then he kept making mistakes. He kept letting Drake Maverick be able, just kept pulling him up. And at the end of the day, Drake Maverick beat him. Drake Maverick got his payback for everything that happened. Mike Kanellis doesn't get a Cruiserweight title match. Maria looks like she had resting bitch face on her face and is now frozen on there for the rest of the time she's in WWE now. And she's pregnant, so Lord, that's even worse for him. And pretty much now we still have no challenger for Drew Gulak right now. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty for SummerSlam. We got to figure out what's going on with that. But pretty much the match itself, it was pretty much basic story. Two people pissed off at each other, both thought they were wrong. Basic story. It happens in real life. Two people get mad, and sometimes you just got to beat the shit out of each other to get it out of you. Let's see where it goes from further, because I think this is far from over. I don't think this is culmination yet. I think this is far from over still.
I think what we just got is the end of Chapter 1, and Chapter 2 will begin next week, I feel like. This match had everything used in it, from the ramp to the LED stage to the diamond steel plates to the freaking stage lightings on the side to a man's belt to the announce table to the barricade to the apron, the exposed apron bit underneath the padding right above the LED board. So literally the heavy metal to freaking turnbuckles to freaking right fists. Oh my gosh, the only thing they didn't use was the kitchen sink. Freaking 24/7 flyers, a freaking Maverick 24/7 sign destroyed in front of a child's eye. And you just hear Mike, it seemed like he was being cathartic almost. I didn't see a smile once, but it was like cathartic, it seemed to him. Just tirading Drake Maverick about, this is what you want, you're making a mockery of the brand, you can't do it, I win. Get a close look, this is your brand, this is what I fight for, 205 Live, this isn't what you wanted, you want a wrestler, you are nothing. And you're right, 90% of this match, Mike Kanellis controlled, only to let his ego be the best of him. This was not going to be a 5-star classic by any means. This was just to further a story. You're right, I don't think this thing concluded at all. But to Maverick's credit, Rockstar Spud's credit as always, he endured the punishment, he sold the intensity, he had a hot moment, fell flat, might have busted up his right arm later on too when he gained some other momentum. And somehow, when I looked like Mike Kanellis was going to go for what I thought was going to be a form of a Celtic cross on top rope, Maverick turned into a freaking Frankensteiner up the top. And then put up his own sliced bread for the win. Drake Maverick won, much to the surprise of some guy in Giants I saw going, where I thought it was like Simon Miller's brother or something.
Yeah.
Again, if you haven't looked at a Rockstar Spud match in Impact Wrestling, go look at when he faced EC3, hair versus hair. Because this just shows you the heart Maverick had. He was fine not only for himself, not only for his wife, not only to shut Mike up temporarily, he was fine for his brand. Because you're right, he came out to the 205 Live Fiend and a 205 Live tank top that was also destroyed too. I have nothing but respect for Drake Maverick after this. Now, truth be told, he works for Vince McMahon. Vince likes seeing little guys get beaten up. So clearly, he's going to continue using this to his advantage in Monday Night Raw. But as far as 205 Live goes, because afterwards an exclusive, he did state, no, you're not going to see the wrestle again. My responsibilities here is strictly focused on 205 Live as the DM to give the best possible cruiserweight wrestling I can, which is why next week I have to now work on finding an opponent for SummerSlam. So next week we're going to know for sure who it is. I can't wait to see how it's determined. But I have a feeling Mike Kanellis and Drake Maverick will not be done with each other, and I feel like they are going to have at least one more encounter in the ring, but it's going to be something far worse than what we saw here. What an insane way to end the show. Not even a match. Literally a fight. It was an unsanctioned fight. It was literally that. I thought he broke Drake Maverick's nose when he fucking swung him into the barricade face first. That was probably the ugliest spot in this match, besides the belt whipping. Although when Drake Maverick grabbed the belt from Mike Kanellis and whipped his ass, I got shades of WrestleMania 22 when Shawn Michaels whipped the hell out of Vince McMahon, and I was just waiting to hear JR say, "Whip his ass! Hit him harder!" Of course, in Mick Joseph, they didn't do that. My word, what an ending to 205 Live. And yeah, Maria slight smirk at one point and then walks away. Oh, jeez. I'm pretty sure it's going to pick up again on Monday. Same old routine. Not looking forward to that. I think I only watched Raw Kennedy. And the fact I work full time. So yeah, quite a show, quite a closer. Let's go ahead and again, what we usually do on 205 Live matches, we don't grade the main event because usually the main event's always great, but This was a different approach because I feel like the main event was before the unsanctioned fight. The unsanctioned fight, like you said, was the further story. So as far as my grade for this show goes, fun opener, competitive middle, enhanced story fight. This was a little above average, say at least. It wasn't your average 205 Live, but it wasn't anything to write home about either. I mean, the biggest takeaway was Drake Maverick in action. Literally, in action. Fighting off as Rockstar Spud only can. So it's for that reason I'm just going to give it 3.75 out of 5. Chris, what would you grade this week's episode of 205 Live?
I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 because I think they had a great short opener, which was great. Got the people ready to go. You had excitement. You had storytelling there. I said you had a very surprising middle with that Laredo and Davari. That was an incredible match. I say that could have easily been a main event match, and I would have been happy to see it as a main event. And I hope they have another rematch between each other because I thought it was that impressive how well they did, how impressive Laredo was by himself. That was very impressive.
Oh, no doubt.
The main event told a story. Like I said, this was not a wrestling match. This was two guys pissed off at each other, beating the shit out of each other. Mike Kanellis made the mistake and let Drake Maverick beat him. That was all on Mike Kanellis. He had 90% of the match. He had the match won numerous times. He could have easily won it.
Yeah,
so,
he could have won
like
on
I
the
said,
sleeper hold. He could have won on the neck breaker. You just wanted to inflict more punishment.
At least about 5 different times he could have won it. So, but like I said, for everything, like I said, I give it a 4. I said just for storytelling, progressing with the story, everything like that. Now we have the one, and we still have that uncertainty yet till next week of who Drew Gulak's going to face. So.
Yeah. I think at one point Mike Kanellis said, "Oh shit," when he threw a right at Drake Maverick's face, and he literally came back at him and threw a right and just beat the daylights out of him. That was like the last Drake Maverick showed. Again, fun match, great enhancing the story. It was nice to see Drake Maverick, aka Rockstar Spud, in action in his purest form. It wasn't against EC3, sorry Tyler, but maybe that's one day to come because Lord knows EC3 needs something. Don't follow him, by the way, folks. LittleQ.com/TJS. Anyway, all right. With that, let's go ahead and get into some simple stances. So we are on the verge of SummerSlam, and we still don't know who Drake Maverick's going to face. When you think about the 205 Live roster, nobody truly sticks out to me right now as the number one contender. So clearly, they're going to have to do some sort of unique format to determine the number one contender. So let's start with the definition. Chris, how would you book finding the number one contender to Drew Gulak's Cruiserweight title at SummerSlam next week on the Go Home episode on 205 Live? What would be your match and participants?
Oh, that's easy. You've already heard this for weeks now, me harp about this. Drew Gulak last week made sure he foreshadowed it. It was foreshadowing. I hope I'm right. But he was talking about, he keeps bringing people back from his past to face him. Bring people back from his past to face him. Well, you know what? I still remember this guy in NXT. He's got 2 wins over you. I said it would be interesting to bring him back in for this match and bring Kushida in. I hope I said his name right. I've had so much G1 on my mind. Oh, right. I'm starting so much Japanese wrestling. I'm actually saying their names right. It's getting to be good now.
Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting, but I think it should be Kushida. I think it'd be a good high-level match, and it could be an exciting match. And at the end of it, Drew Gulak could get a big win and get a win back for the 2 losses he had, and he can get redemption for that because that Kushida has beat him twice. So it's every reason he should easily be the number one contender with 2 wins over Drew Gulak, who's now the champion. That's a simple answer to me.
Well, it is one of the biggest 4 shows of the year, so I'm sure the international audience would know who Kushida is, and he's 192 pounds according to latest weights I'm seeing. So, yeah, I could definitely potentially see that happening. But it wouldn't surprise me, though, with all the hype with Humberto Carrillo, and then you figure about who's competed recently, and we haven't seen him in a while. I would actually like to see a number one contenders match, triple threat match, between Humberto Carrillo, Chad Gable, and you know what? If you're going to throw someone unique in there, maybe give Akira Tozawa another chance because we haven't heard high no tail of Tony Nese, ever since, the focus has been this whole Drake Maverick and Mike Kanellis storyline. I think a triple threat would be a nice simple way of doing it, and I would like to see how Alberto Carrillo handles the dynamic power of Chad Gable. And Akira Tozawa, he's still out there trying to prove a point that he can become Cruiserweight Champion to freaking gain redemption from his less than 48-hour first title reign. So in my opinion, I think I would just do a triple threat match between Akira Tozawa, Chad Gable, especially after that technical masterpiece, and since you're hyping him so much, Alberto Carrillo. And I think, honestly, at SummerSlam, I would just do Chad Gable versus Drew Gulak, not the alternative, which is why I want to get into this next stance where I threw an idea.
Hold on a second. I got a counter to that argument, debate, what you just said. Yeah. Instead of putting Akira Tozawa, put Laredo in there as triple threat match. Then you could have that feeler out with Herberto and Laredo, and Chad Gable could pin Laredo instead of Herberto, because Herberto, I don't think, needs to be taking any pinfall losses right now. Essentially, if you're slow burning him, I don't think he needs to be taking any losses right at this moment. If we're going to slow burn him, which is what my theory is, I'll put somebody like Laredo in there to have him a chance to showcase, and he could take the fall against Gable.
And to be fair, Lindsay Dorado hasn't had a singles cruiserweight title match, so you do bring up a unique first potentially. Also furthering a storyline. I didn't think, though, they would use Lindsay Dorado, though, this soon with just one win, though. That's the thing. I know Akira Tozawa has experience. Chad Gable has been incredibly impressive, and technically, he has not lost yet on 205 Live. And then you've got, of course, Akira Tozawa, who, of course, is just constantly delivering. He won this tag team action. He's won a single in the past, so I mean, but yeah, you're right. There's a whole lot of different dynamics that could go here. If they could bring up these tag teams, for example, or like you said, use one member of Lucha House Party. But in my opinion, I say you just do a triple threat number one contenders match and see who is worthy enough to endure the pain and punishment of Drew Gulak. And I'm just going to go out, I'll just say my thoughts on the actual match for next week. All right, so let's go ahead and talk more about cruiserweights in regards to this. About Worlds Collide 2. So I do check out the highlights of SmackDown Live. I heard it was wild, and always, Aaron Riff, thank you for the great recap. It's always one of my morning listens at work. So apparently, Roman Reigns was involved in an angle that involved some scaffolding falling on him. And then I see these pictures of somebody walking away in a white and black shirt, buff shoulders, black pants. Who fits that mold with slightly dark hair? Buddy Murphy. Buddy Murphy has been called up since the Superstar Shakeup and has not had a singles match yet on friggin' SmackDown Live, which he was drafted to. Who's the top guy on SmackDown Live? Freaking Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has already endorsed a cruiserweight from Buddy Murphy's past, Cedric Alexander, who is working much more on the opposite brand. So obviously those two are going to face each other, and that match wouldn't work. So we got this idea now of Buddy Murphy versus Roman Reigns. So, Chris, I'm just going to throw this to you. What are your thoughts on the idea of Roman Reigns versus Buddy Murphy? Do you see this benefiting Buddy Murphy, or do you see this furthering burying him and being a one-off? And do you think Buddy Murphy was the guy that tipped the scaffolding?
Here's the issue with that whole segment. That segment was really weak. Like I said, that scaffolding didn't do anything just for Roman Reigns to get up. So if we're trying to build Buddy Murphy as a credible challenger to Roman Reigns, that's going to make him look really dumb because that Roman Reigns just pretty much just got back up like he was a real Superman. Just like, all right, I'm here, I'm good, I'm good, y'all. I don't need to be checked. And so at the end of the day, like I said, if it's Buddy Murphy, they could have easily done something a little bit different to set up maybe a feud. He could have done something where they could have used the wild card rule. He could have maybe attacked Cedric Alexander or something, and Roman Reigns came to his aid or something along that lines. They could have done any kind of thing with that. But I mean, if it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Buddy Murphy at SummerSlam, if they give it enough time and they don't try to make it some squash match with Roman Reigns winning in 2 minutes, and actually make it a competitive match, so even if Buddy Murphy does lose to Roman Reigns, it's actually competitive and believable, then I'll be fine with that. Because Buddy Murphy is way too talented to be getting squashed in 2 minutes of Roman Reigns. I'm sorry. I respect Roman Reigns. He's a great athlete. He's come a long way from when he first debuted. But like I said, it shouldn't be a squash match. It should be at least a good competitive, 8-10 minute match at least. Give it a few minutes, let him warm up and stuff. Because it could be an interesting match if they do it right. But if it's going to be a squash match, then there's no sense of doing it. They should at least have the Monster Among Men attack Roman Reigns at this point. At least go back to that feud again or something.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, if you're not going to use Buddy Murphy, just send him back to 205 Live. Hell, you know what? Break the mold. Do heel versus heel. Surprise me, Drake Maverick. I dare you to make the match at SummerSlam, Buddy Murphy versus Drew Gulak, because those two have past history as well, and Buddy Murphy is a former Cruiserweight champion, one of the longer reigning ones. Imagine the match these two can have with the more aggressive, no longer safe sound feet on the ground Drew Gulak. I would love to see that match personally at SummerSlam. But the bottom line is this. Buddy Murphy needs to be used for something. Okay, best kept secret? How long are you going to keep him a secret? At least with Aleister Black, you let him do promos on screen in a blacked out room. God. But I digress. So, all right. Chris, what is on your mind tonight to talk about on Simple Stances?
Well, let's see here. Well, that's going to segue to the next idea. So now we're going to do Cedric Alexander versus Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam is what it looks like. So what are your ideas with this? We already saw Cedric Alexander take the win over Drew McIntyre. He is from 205 Live, former Cruiserweight champion, very talented. What are your hopes for that match? Do we see it where is Drew McIntyre actually going to take another loss to Cedric Alexander? Are they going to have a good competitive 15, 20-minute match? Or are they playing the same scenario they did from WCW in '99 when Rey Mysterio and Kevin Nash fought the day after Rey Mysterio lost his mask and he upset Kevin Nash in a win, and then they had a rematch in Uncensored and Kevin Nash beat the crap out of him? Are we rehashing WCW 99 storyline, or are we going to actually have it where it's not 50-50 booking and Cedric Alexander gets another big win over Drew McIntyre? So I'm sorry, it's still a big win to beat him. I know they haven't done very much with Drew McIntyre, but still a very big win. If he gets another big win over him, that would be very impressive, and that would be probably one of the bigger wins for somebody coming out of 205 Live to the main roster.
So here's my biggest fear of that. I want to talk about another name just for a moment. A guy that's a heavyweight that moves like a cruiserweight, Samoa Joe. Everyone says Roman wins. Well, now everyone's saying Joe loses. I fear that they're turning Drew McIntyre into Samoa Joe 2.0. Because this guy came from NXT as the NXT champion, in with Dolph Ziggler, tag team champs, bringing classics as usual, and now he's being squashed and is someone's bitch. And you know who I'm talking about. Now, the thing about Cedric Alexander is he wasn't being used at all for anything. He was in obscurity. His freaking debut match was against Cesaro, one of my personal favorites. # push Cesaro. And pretty much he's been segregated into just enhancement talent. I fear they're doing the same with Drew McIntyre. So if that's the only direction for Drew McIntyre, then honestly I don't know, because I don't feel like they would bring you a great match. Now, I know right now Drew and Cedric, they're kind of feuding. I believe Cedric has beaten him at least one quick fluky roll-up. They were going to have another match, and then Drew beat the crap out of him before the match could begin. So technically it's not even 50-50. It's one in mid. So as far as my thoughts on Drew McIntyre versus Cedric Alexander, jeez. I don't know if I necessarily want to see that at SummerSlam, because I honestly feel like they would just treat that as a bathroom break match. I mean, freaking Roman versus Drew was treated like that at WrestleMania because it came after Kofi Mania. So I honestly don't want that match to happen, to keep it simple. As far as how I would make this work, I just would do it the freaking following Raw after SummerSlam and close it out with Drew getting the win somehow by heelish tactics and maybe gloating about it. Cedric, he moves on, does something else. We come back to this somehow, maybe for number one contendership towards an actual title. Are they ever going to put Drew towards the actual top title picture? No, I don't think so. But maybe both men can go after the U.S. title. The bottom line, the mid-card titles need elevation more than anything. So those are my thoughts on that. All right. Great civil stand.
Well, sorry about that, but I just have some breaking news here real quick, because that's why I had to check my message while we're discussing this. So,
what's up?
Just for everybody who's wanting to know, okay, so me and Virtue have been discussing doing a no DQ great debate for over a month now. And so now we actually finally have a time set for when we're going to do it tomorrow. We're going to have the no DQ great debate. We're going to have it set up for tomorrow to record for me versus Virtue about 205 Live Matter. So we just finally have a time. Like I said, we've been trying to get this for over a month, so I just got the message, so I had to check that real quick. But normally I don't do that while we record, but it was breaking news to me, so I just want to make sure I just want to announce that right now. So everybody stay tuned for that. That's going to be very interesting. And just real quick, like, it's not no heat with me and Virtue. I know I've had people message me, why don't you like Virtue? I don't have a problem with Virtue. I respect Virtue. I'm the one who paid his donated to get him out of being suspended 60 days because somebody paid money to suspend him for 60 days. That's why we had El Virtuoso for a while. So either way, this is going to be a very interesting topic. This is something I'm pro for 205 Live because it does matter to me. He's against 205 Live. He has his opinions why. I have my opinions why. So this is going to be a very interesting debate. So stay tuned for that. And I definitely will be sharing it on the 205 Live Facebook group if you're a part of that. So I just wanted to have that breaking news since I'm having Aaron and Virtue message me while we're recording.
Damn good shit right there coming up. Go, Chris Mace. You got this, brother. I am extremely looking forward to watching this. Yes, people. Virtue versus Chris Mace on 205 Live here on NoDQ.com. It's the next great NoDQ debate. Stay tuned. All right. That was awesome segue into breaking news. Let's go ahead and get back into simple stances. Let's go ahead and just break into some fun here. So we are already right now through over half of the year. We know the WWE Network talking about the freaking pay-per-views coming up. We got WWE Summerslam, which I'll be seeing live. It's going to be insane. First ever of the Big Four. Can't wait to see that. See y'all in Toronto. And then we got Clash of Champions. I still think that's stupid. I think that's before they moved to October in Fox and SmackDown, blah, blah, blah. And then we got Hell in a Cell. So we look at the Cruiserweight division, we look at 205 Live, and we figure about why haven't they done like a big-time gimmick match on the 205 Live roster on one of these pay-per-views. And you figure about the heated feud between Mike Kanellis and Drake Maverick. Could that potentially be the next step? Or you look at Arya Daivari versus, I don't know, Oni Lorcan. There are potential feuds here that could be worthy of this gimmick. So I leave this to you, Chris Mace. Hell in the Cell. Who would you book from 205 Live in a Hell in a Cell match?
Daivari versus Lorcan is the obvious choice for me, but also another option you could do later on, since, like I said, we already saw somehow I think Nisa is going to have to get back into this title picture here. Like I said, so he had the loss to Drew Gulak, but somehow I think he's going to get back in the title picture. We're not going to get the Iron Man match I wanted for SummerSlam, but they can reunite their feud and it can get heated up again, and we can finally have a real culmination where a good at least 15, 20-minute Hell in a Cell match. That would be an awesome idea to finally culminate their feud, because they've been going back and forth at it for a while now. We need some kind of culmination to it. I don't think that when Drew Gulak got would be the end of Tony Nese, to be honest with you. Like I said, that was too short of a match. Somehow I think they can rebuild to Nese and getting another title opportunity and going after Drew Gulak again. But then again, you could do Lorcan versus Daivari as well, because of the fact that as much as we talk about it and how well that match went, like I said, I would love to see him in a Hell in a Cell match. I think they could have more carnage and more destruction than anything in Hell in a Cell.
And the thing is about 205 Live and the way that the wrestlers are moved into storylines when it culminates to their feuds, it's always a big, epic, blow-off main event type match on 205 Live. With the heat and egos and the intense feed of competition you get from the 205 Live roster, I could definitely see two of these people build towards a Hell in a Cell match. Like you said, the obvious choice, Oni Lorcan and Arya Daivari. We've seen what they can do in just the ring and anything goes match. Imagine what they can do with the Hell in a Cell. I can see one of them climbing off to the top from the inside and dropping down. Maybe like a Jeff Hardy spot, I don't know. Or maybe somehow they do get on the top and fight it out there. But honestly, I would love to see a Cruiserweight match on the Hell in a Cell. Thank you, by the way, Brandon Gateman, for that suggested topic tonight. I know you suggested a different gimmick, but we discussed that on a different simple stance, and that pay-per-view passed. All right. Okay. Before we get into our list picks, of course, Chris, anything else you want to talk about on simple stances?
I'm about to say, well, they already got spoiled. What I was going to talk about was the great debate because I had the breaking news. So that was pretty much the last thing I was going to
That was
talk
an
about.
announcement for the stance, and that is a huge announcement. So
Well,
yeah,
that was still a
kind of,
human announcement, but my point at the end of the day with that, just bring it up one more time. Like I said, there is no heat between me and Virtue. This is going to be a great debate. So I want everybody to stay tuned, like I said, and like I said, I'm just going to debate about this because this is what I believe in. I love 205 Live. He has his ideas of why it doesn't work. I have my ideas how I think it works. So I said it's going to be a great debate. There's no heat there. I requested this from him over a month ago. We finally got a schedule where we're all able to do it. And so it's going to be very interesting. I'm ready for it. I know he can be vicious at times. I know he's virtue. I know he likes to get under people's skin. But at the end of the day, it's going to take a lot to get under my skin, and I got a lot to fire back with, so I'm ready to go with it.
the bottom line for me is this: I've been judged my whole life, and I'm still keeping it going. And screw politics. The only politics I need to hear is in wrestling, as far as what do you think about wrestling, or this in wrestling, or that in wrestling. So tonight's question, people, I pose you: who do you support in the No DQ debate? Who do you see winning? And of course, if you have anything else in regards to our civil stances or True for Life of the Cruiserweights, please leave a comment below. I will interact with you. I love doing that. Whether you critique, you hate, you believe, don't care. A view is a view. Your opinion matter. Be you. Just be respectful. Simple as that. All right, so let's go ahead and close this out with our next pick on our list. As you all know who's been following and who haven't been following, allow me to introduce you to our top 25 205 Live matches of all time. Basically, me and Chris here, we have put together our own list based on recommend matches we think that are some of the best 205 Live has given us, and we recommend you to check out to give the brand a chance. So with that, this marks number 22 out of the 25 on our list. So I think I'll go first this time. So last week I went with an epic Fatal 5-Way clash that brought the brand to the AA level. And this week I went a little further in time, as again I'm looking back from episode 1. Again, the bottom half of my list is going to be a lot more chronological. When it gets up to like the top 10, it's going to be all over the place. But again, it's strictly 205 Live. So I kind of went a little biased on this because it was my first live experience. And I loved it. I picked D. Brian Kendrick versus Akira Tozawa Street Fight. This match culminated after D. Brian Kendrick felt disrespected by Akira Tozawa, who said, "Nope, I don't like you," when D. Brian Kendrick offered to be Akira Tozawa's teacher. And of course, Akira Tozawa, he did not want to be his protege. So basically, this led to them versing each other in London, and then following that, with Akira winning with a roll-up, D. Brian Kendrick snapped because he said the final lesson is no one disrespects D. Brian Kendrick. Yet, in the close of this opening video package from this episode I saw live, he says, "I'm going to teach Tozawa the final lesson." Boy, did he try to, with tables, a belt, and purple duct tape. I kid you not. But in the end, Akira Tozawa won with a top senton bomb through a table onto D. Brian Kendrick. It was an epic clash, and in the end, Akira Tozawa, who's been using these lessons against D. Brian Kendrick, he was the one with the final lesson and the final word, and that ended this feud. And here we are, 2019, 2 years later, and the two seem to be on mutual grounds, respect. That match, you want something epic, go check it out. It was a lot of fun. I can't believe Brian Kendrick took a belt whip to the mouth. So that's my pick. And again, that was for my first 205 Live experience. So maybe I'm being a little biased here, but again, watching the Brands episode 1, seeing what it was, seeing where it was going, seeing how I love this, and seeing it first time ever live, this is more worthwhile to me than SmackDown Live when I was there that night. And that was around Money in the Bank season, too. Okay, Chris Mace, what's your number 22 on your list?
Okay, this match was ranked number 1 on WWE.com, but it's not on my number 1 list for sure. I know what my number 1 is. I already have my list made up. My number 22 is Mustafa Ali versus Buddy Murphy, no disqualification match, July 3rd, 2017. That match was as intense, as crazy as you will see. Like I said, they put a lot onto it. What they did with those stairs to make it, that was very interesting how they used those stairs in the match and everything they did to each other. It was just incredible. And like I said, how Ali won the match with using the stairs, hit that tornado DDT to get the win. He didn't use the 05 up 054, he used that tornado DDT on the using the stairs. He used the tornado DDT to get that win. That was impressive to me. I know it's ranked number 1, and it's on a lot of people's high praise list from what I've heard and been told through people. But like I said, that's not my number 1 match. That's my favorite. So that's my number 22. So if that's my number 22, y'all gonna be surprised when we get to number 1.
That match was a pinnacle match, too, for both men. I mean, that freaking spot off the standing freaking steel steps in the middle of the ring, not to mention the Spanish fly spot from the barricades to the announce table. Both men left it all in the ring. Both men were out to prove a point. And this is when Mustafa Ali was really rising up as a top competitor, being known as the heart of 205 Live, and gaining the admiration of the audience. Very solid pick. One of my favorite matches, too. Man, good pick. All right. Well, I think with that, folks, we are done with this shorter edition of 205 Live Matters pre-SummerSlam season. Stay tuned next week for our Go Home SummerSlam episode, which will be recorded at a special time, which you'll find out why very soon. But before I get into all that type of stuff, and you can tell I'm definitely tired of losing my voice, Chris, a pleasure as always. Sweet, short, simple, and to the point tonight. Anything you want to plug, and where can people find you?
Well, like I said, you could support Aftermatch Wrestling. Stephen and Jerry do a great job with What's NXT and the Tea Party. That's always a great time, fun time to do that show. Also, next week, since they're going to be in Toronto, it's going to be a privilege because it's going to be me and Colin for the first time ever hosting What's NXT. So I know he's very excited. I'm very excited as well with that. And also, for the NXT party, it's going to be Cindy G and Good Brother Chris are going to be hosting the Tea Party in their absence. So that's very exciting news. It's going to be a different kind of episodes those next week. So y'all stay tuned for that. Support Colin Andrews with a chopping block. If I can just glance real quick. Colin Andrews just has now posted a new Prime Cuts that just came out. Like I said, you like watching sometimes short, sweet videos, watch his videos. Don't take up much of your time, but it's very insightful or sometimes very quick and to the point. So support him. Support Cindy G as always. Like I said, she's the Duchess of No DQ, but she's the queen of the NXT team. Said she does a lot of hard work with the ladies of No DQ and doing the AEW predictions video. She does a lot of great work and support independent wrestling because she is a very big advocate of independent wrestling. So is Noah as well and Good Brother Chris. And they're the reason I'm actually doing all these predictions now and getting into all this independent wrestling stuff. And support James and Owens. They do James Owens. I keep sounding like when I say James and Owen, I keep saying James Owen. That makes me sound like one name.
Like
but support James and Owen. They do great work. Owen's getting ready to celebrate his 2,000th video. So congratulations on that. 2,000 videos, a lot of videos. So can't wait to see that. Maybe make a cameo appearance on that to congratulate you. So that's a job well done. That's proud of you for that, Owen. And like I said, support Good Brother Chris. He's the newest member of the NXT team, but he does great work. He's always entertaining. He's one of the funniest people I met working with. For his AEW Nation, he said he's got over 10,000 people now, or he said over 11,000.
I figured I heard 10,000. What's the price of 11?
Like I said, like I said, he's doing great things. Like I said, I'm glad he's part of the team. He's fun to work with. And like I said, we have Facebook group. I'm letting Noah plug that because that's his Facebook group. I'm just an admin. He founded it, then unadmitted himself. We're not going to get into that later. But all in all, like I said, and one more Facebook group. I always forget this, but you know, we have one more. Starts with capital ARMBAR exclamation point. Like I said, that's a great Facebook group to be part of. We have a low number there, but like I said, you got to be productive. If you're not productive in the group, the general's going to poof, you're gone. So that's all I got to plug today.
Wow, good job. Good on you. Wrestling, simple as that. All right. Well, folks, like I said, next week's going to be extremely unique, shaking up, different, wild, and busy for me. Before I get into all that, if you want to know more about me, know this. And now I have a shirt to prove it. Thank you, Aaron Rift. I'm just a simple man. And if you haven't figured out by now, I am a lifelong fan of wrestling. If you want to follow me and talk anything wrestling, outside or inside WWE, including 205 Live, NXT, NXT UK, or AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and Independent Wrestling for independent wrestling folks. I've been watching Stardom World lately. You can look me up, NoDQ.com/Noah. It takes you to my Twitter page, or at nfoster1916 if you hate URLs. Or follow my simple YouTube channel here, where you'll find predictions, simple takes, recaps, reviews, and more at youtube.com/user/Noah Foster210. Next week is going to be extremely busy with videos still covering G1 Climax. Me and Chris here will be talking about the upcoming 2 nights very shortly. We also have predictions coming up for Ring of Honor Summer Supercard, which I will be going to live. I'll be doing predictions on that, I believe, next week, Wednesday. And possibly tomorrow, I might be doing predictions with, as recording, it's Friday, August the 2nd. As of tomorrow, I might be doing a NXT TakeOver Toronto 2 predictions with the NXT crew that's going to Toronto, so stay tuned for that. And, of course, stay tuned next week for the Radar Report with me, Stephen, and Jerry. We'll be doing predictions, of course, for WWE SummerSlam. Beyond that, my summer of wrestling continues with less than a month left. Tomorrow I got Heatwave Live WWE show with some friends. I got more G1 to watch and see, and I will be going to Toronto, so I will be seeing 3 wrestling shows live. Ring of Honor Summer Supercard, NXT TakeOver, and SummerSlam. And I will be at the NoDQ meetup. Hope to see you all there. And speaking of which, support NoDQ. There's a reason I'm on YouTube. So go buy a shirt. This, something else, whatever tickles your fancy. Buy a shirt, NoDQ.com/shirts. Follow NoDQ.com and all these social media platforms. Your comments matter. There's comment sections on everything at the official NoDQ website. Go make a friend. Go make an enemy. Attempt to take on Virtue, the Troll Slayer. In the end, we're just all wrestling fans. There's sections on everything. Columns, memes, GIFs, reviews, polls, sex and female picks. You name it, it's there. It's wrestling, primarily WWE. But we in Team DQ, we're slowly invading and bringing in more stuff, primarily AEW. Of course, stay tuned at the end of the month, where August 31st will be the most insane day, where you'll find predictions for, of course, for NoDQ, AEW All Out, and NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff. And I'll be doing predictions on my YouTube channel as well for New Japan Pro Wrestling World Quest. And as always, I'd like to close. Support your wrestling outlets, big and small, and let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that, thank you all once again for tuning in to this shorter edition of 205 Live Matters. Please join the Facebook group, join the fun, hashtag 205 Live Matters. If you like Cruiserweight Wrestling, we'll join you immediately. It's a talk, discussion, just sharing on all things Cruiserweight Wrestling, then, now, forever, 205 Live, and beyond. Everything is possible there. We've even discussed freaking All Out with Okada and Marty Scurll, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
And also, excuse me, I'm losing my voice and I'm extremely tired. Sorry, folks. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, comment, tell friends. Stay tuned for 205 Live Matters. Go Home SummerSlam edition next week, being recorded Tuesday night as soon as 205 Live goes off the air. It's not going to be live. I'm not doing live episodes yet. It's something I plan on doing maybe down the road if I reach a number of certain subscribers on my YouTube channel. 205 or 100, haven't decided yet. So, again, follow my channel, follow NoDQ, enjoy wrestling, enjoy Mountain Dew or two. And until the next video, folks, take care of your families. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Get plenty of rest, because sleep is always key. And have a good night.
All right, have a good night, y'all.
And remember, 205 Live matters.
Always.
Simple as that. Bye, everybody.